Lawyers recommend rappers to stop reacting to Young Thug's case as the police are now investigating all of the rappers. Today it was reported, and I quote, "The state's team expert in the Young Thug trial interrupted Thug's lawyer to tell the jury that the album cover for his collab tape with Future, Super Slimy, was actually meant to taunt rival street teams. But in reality, the album cover just shows the symbols of the labels YSL and FBG.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Steele. To the extent that you're asking for context of these, I do have additional context that may be helpful as far as these particular tweets. Okay. So the tweet on the left-hand side, so we pull that back up. So this particular image was of note to myself and other investigators, particularly during this time period. Their rival ABG has a hawk logo that they use on their own clothing and identifiers. As you can see on the cover of this, there's a hawk skull with a snake, the symbol for YSL, climbing through the eyes of this skull of a hawk.
Now this made many reporters make statements telling rappers to stop reacting to Young Thug so then they don't get investigated. However, this outraged many rappers. So several rappers then called Brian Steele and gave the thumbs up to let Young Thug's lawyer bring up their rap names in court in order to help Young Thug get officially released from jail. As Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele would then go down a line shouting out rappers and their songs that all replace the letter C with the letter B.
Post Malone, do you know who Post Malone is?
I know who he is.
Have you heard him do that?
I have not.
Okay. Meek Mill, you know who that artist is?
I do.
Have you know that?
No, sir.
Are you familiar with the song Jumped Out the Face by Meek Mill?
I'm not.
And Post Malone, you are familiar with the song?
No.
Are you familiar with Juice WRLD?
I know who he is.
Are you familiar with, instead of cooling, booling, B-O-O-L-I-N? You familiar with that song?
I'm not.
Okay. Trippie Redd, you know who that is?
I know of him.
And do you know the song Bust Down, again, booling rather than cooling? YWN Melly, you know that rapper?
I do.
The song Till the End?
I don't.
Future, you know who that is?
I do.
Absolutely going brazy, you know that?
This makes Young Thug look extremely innocent inside a court because it shows the jury that you don't need to be a part of the Red Street team to avoid using the letter C in music titles and songs, and that it's more of a music style that hooks a viewer's attention to the song. However, this is where it gets concerning for rappers that have been reacting, as Lil Wayne reacted many times saying free Young Thug. Then weirdly enough today, the prosecutors would then ask the officer on the stand about Lil Wayne's affiliation, including his tattoo, basically exposing him in front of 50,000 live viewers for being a part of the Red Street team.
And are you familiar with who this individual is?
I am.
And who is that?
It's Dwayne Carter.
Okay. And does he have another name that he goes by?
He does.
And what is that?
Lil Wayne.
And are you aware, through any of your non-trained experience, if Mr. Carter, Dwayne Carter, self-identifies as a member of?
I believe that he does.
Okay. Tell the jury if you need to stand with the stick and point to what those identifiers are within Defense Exhibit 31.
There's a large MOB across his chest, often used particularly by West Coast, but is used across the country. He has 5 red 5-point stars across his chest.
As this isn't the only rapper to be investigated. We also saw just last week YNW Melly get brought up in Young Thug's trial. Melly's already facing his own court case where he's looking at life in prison. But while investigating YNW Melly, they ended up finding something on his Facebook account with Young Thug attached to it.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with Young Thug, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with the 5-point star as well. Mr. Devins has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and these individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
The investigator believes that Y&W has street ties to Young Thug's team YSL, as we would then even see Bryson Paul tweet, Detective Danny Polo on what slat means. Slat means sliming up all the time, and it came out of the YSL language. The Reds started copying it. YSL, the team, is made up of Reds, and in the photo, Y&W Melly is with Young Thug, who is currently on trial for RICO. The YSL team is throwing up the Reds. With more rappers now getting involved into Young Thug's case, it makes it the perfect time for Thug's lawyer to push for a mistrial. As it would be reported, expect YSL rapper Young Thug's lawyer to push for a mistrial. His lawyers have an edge on the prosecution, and it could lead to a strong case for the mistrial, because Thug's lawyer would prove why he is the best right here, as Brian Steele had a hunch that the police special forces investigator at 10 years is truly just bad at his job and he doesn't do his research. So Brian Steele would go on to expose him in front of everyone and make him honestly look like a joke.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming, I don't want to assume, you went through that entire Tumblr account to educate yourself for your testimony for the jurors. Am I correct?
No, sir. This is the only post from this Tumblr account that I've reviewed.
You didn't look at all of Mr. Williams' Tumblr account?
No, sir.
How did you know to review this one picture?
Well, when the state asked me to review these particular tweets, this is one that was linked within one of the tweets I was asked to review, and I was asked to review this post from that link.
You weren't curious to know what else is on that Tumblr account?
I was not, no.
Well, since you come back, I'm inviting you to look at it if you want to. But every one of those posts has to do with music. Do you realize that?
Objection and hearsay.
It's not hearsay.
As Young Thug's lawyer was stunned to hear that the investigator barely even did his job. So Brian would stand on business and he would challenge this investigator to go home, do more research on Young Thug, then come back with an answer. Which if you do this to somebody on the stand in a court trial, you're basically just mocking them.
Do you know, as you sit here, what all the other Tumblr posts deal with?
Objection.
Basis.
It would be speculation because he said he has not.
I sustain the objection.
You do me a favor. If you come back, which I'll call you if you need, I want you to review all that Tumblr, okay?
Sure.
Account. And then you tell the jurors everything else that's on that Tumblr account, okay?
Sure.
And tell them if it has anything other than music-oriented promotion, okay?
Well, I would say even this photo has more than just music promotion.
That's great.
This really seems like a joke and kind of an embarrassment of the police department. This is their main investigator of 10 years, and he didn't even do his job of investigating. However, it gets crazier from here, as Thug's lawyer would then go on to, weirdly enough, defend the YSL snitch Trontavious Stevens, as Trontavious gave the definition of the word slime very recently.
Word slime, what does it mean?
Good question. That's a good question. So, the S is for slow, the L is for love, the I is for I, the M is for me, and the E for everything.
That is the only thing that slime meant to you when you had a tattoo put in your body.
Yes, ma'am, that's what it means to me. That's what that tattoo means to me.
Is slime ever used in any other kind of way? As by you or any of the people that
like breaking it down, how I do it.
No, like the meaning of the word slime.
No, it's slime.
The 10-year veteran investigator on the stand said that what Trontavious said was a lie, and that is not what the word slime means to YSL members. Thug's lawyer, however, was ready for this. He played a song inside of the courtroom that is 5 years old, and in the lyrics of the song, it says the exact same thing that Trontavious said. So Brian would go on to expose him again, and then embarrass him in front of everyone for asking if he even did a simple Google search.
Did you hear that, detective?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now, when you gave your testimony yesterday about you've never heard anyone describe slime in the way you just heard on Mr. Williams number 142, did you ever do a Google search?
No, I did not.
Did you know that question was coming?
No, sir.
You had no idea that the state was going to ask you that question?
No, I thought you meant your question.
No. Yesterday on direct exam, you knew that question was coming, right?
I did. I knew the state was going to ask me what slime meant, yes.
And did you do anything in preparation to say, I want to make sure my testimony is accurate?
I did.
But you never bothered to Google music?
This veteran investigator didn't even do a simple Google search. And with the state having this as their investigator, Thug's lawyer is going to be pushing for Young Thug's release very soon. But do you believe that this will be enough? Thug's girlfriend Mariah the Scientist does, as she revealed their plans for when he is released.
Do you think that marriage is the next step for you, Young Thug?
I mean, when he gets out of jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think either of us want a jail wedding. Yeah, but I feel like he definitely wants to be married, and I feel like I do too.
Do you ever imagine life outside once he's out?
For sure. We talk about it all day. All day long. I mean, I feel like being imaginative can help every human being on earth not lose your mind. Mm-hmm. You know, it is like a little slight state of delusion.